Hey everyone, Mars here. Remember, my pronouns are they, them, and I'm here for another question of the month. So, this month we were asked, was there a specific trauma that led to our HIV diagnosis, or did your HIV diagnosis lead to a specific trauma? Have you been able to move forward from it, and if so, how? So for me, I would say the HIV came first, before the trauma. Having been born with HIV, it kind of was what started everything. And so when I was 3 and went to go live with my aunt, who became my foster parent, who then adopted me, when I was 3 and went to go live with her, she took me to the hospital, and that was right around when I got my diagnosis, even though I was born positive. And ever since that day forward, they had me in and out of the doctor's office. I was in a bunch of different medical trials and things like that. And so the trauma was very layered, and it started immediately as soon as I started treatment. Essentially, I was a part of a few different trials because back then they didn't know what was going to keep us kids alive and what wasn't. And so I was a part of these trials with these other kids, and well, the reality is we didn't all make it. So I kind of grew up in an environment where I was going to the doctor every 2 weeks, once a month, and I would be sitting in a room with these other kids for 2 or 3 hours at a time, and then one day they're just not there anymore. One of the nurses would come out and tell us so and so didn't make it. They thought they were better and they stopped taking their meds. It happens, and it happened a lot to me. I can think of a handful of people that I lost before the age of 15. So between that and actually spending so much time in and out of the hospital, I had pneumonia almost every winter. If my fever got too high, my parents would take me to the hospital. Mind you, my uncle was really, really good with those home remedy type things, so they really didn't take me to the hospital unless they absolutely had to. But when I was in the hospital, I was down for the count for a while. And so, when you're a kid and you're spending more time in the hospital than you are at home in your own bed, or at home, playing with your friends, or at school even, it gets tough. I definitely spent most of my childhood into adulthood in survival mode. And that's because I lived such a life of, are they going to make it to 6? We don't know. Are they going to make it to 8? We don't know. Are they going to make it to 10? Maybe. And in the midnight hour at 10 was when they found the right cocktail for me. I don't think I would have made it another week had they not found the right medicine at the right time. So, but I spent so much time in hospitals that medical trauma shows up in a lot of different ways for me now as an adult. Not only being in survival mode and really just kind of finally getting out of that in the last 5-10 years or so, but just triggers PTSD, complex PTSD from medical trauma, repetitive beeping. It's a little thing that drives me nuts. Whether it be a siren, whether it be a heart monitor, whether it be a medical machine of some kind, just repetitive beeping, repetitive phrases, like they get to me. And the only thing I can chalk that up to is I spent so many nights just hearing that heart monitor beep, 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 beep. And you're grateful for it because it says that you're alive, but it also causes trauma that you don't even realize. Being held down by doctors while they put my feeding tube in before the age of 4. There's so many different stories that I could tell about the medical trauma that I've been through, but the reality is survival mode is what it created, and it made it so that I couldn't look to the future. I couldn't think about anything more than just surviving. And now that I'm an adult and I'm doing more than just surviving and I'm actually thriving, I feel like I'm behind the curve at all times because I spent so much time just living in the moment and thinking about now and maybe next year that I hadn't really allowed myself to dream. Some people don't know this, but I have a tattoo on my back calf, and it's of a dream catcher. And I got it probably about 7-8 years ago, but I got it at a time when I was telling myself, you know what? It's okay to dream now. And I feel like that's kind of my message with this question of the month. It's okay to dream. I hope everybody's staying safe out there. Mars signing out.